If it's easy for you to show your brother, your sister, and you're teaching someone that you know, if it's easy for you to explain to someone else, that's what I mean by clean. Welcome back, everyone, to Be the Trader. Today, I have a one-on-one session with a new trader. If you're interested in doing a one-on-one session, check out the link below in the description. And if you want a chance to win a free one-on-one session, comment below your Discord name and why you think you should win, and I'll be picking someone out at random. Let's get back to the show.
So I just want to maybe I'll tell you a little bit of how I kind of got into this whole trading situation. So I'm actually a former athlete. I played basketball up until about 2 years ago, and I had a really bad injury, hurt my back, and recently just started a personal training company for basketball for younger kids.
Cool.
So working my way up, doing my thing, and after I got hurt, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I knew I'm not like a go to school, go to college. That's really wasn't really my thing.
Yeah.
So I was, everyone hears about the stock market when they're younger, your father talks about it, stuff like that. And I always thought it was really, really cool. And when COVID hit, my father happened to, I don't know how he stumbled into this OTC stock or whatever, but they were basically one of the first ones to make home testing kits. And the thing shot up like 15,000%, like from like 7 cents to $3. And I was like, holy shit. Right. And I'm like, I knew nothing about this. And I'm like, yo, what is the possibilities if I actually learn this and figure it out? And obviously, on the way up, we keep thinking it's going to go up forever and wind up not taking profits where we should have. And now I look at it, I'm like, oh, I knew when to take profits now and all that stuff. So that's basically how I got into it.
Okay.
Sat myself in my room for about 9 months straight, studied everything I could about the market, 10, 12 hours a day. I sat through the open, through the close without taking any single trades, looking at stocks. For an entire year, I didn't miss a trading day, every single day.
Shit, okay.
It was awesome. I really locked in. I learned a lot, and I never actually took a course or anything like that. So I taught everything I know myself. After about 7 months, that's when I started to take positions. Now, I had some money saved up. I had about, I think it was about $12,000, but it wasn't enough to pass the PDT rule.
Okay.
And basically, I asked my father if I could do a joint account with his account, and then only trade the amount of money that I had. So I was able to pass the PDT rule. Psychologically, now that I'm thinking about it, that was not the best idea, because now I see a large amount of money that I don't actually have in the account.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I got this amount of money. I can risk this much on this trade and this much. Before I know it, I'm risking way too much. These numbers I was not ready for the kind of numbers I was going to see and I was messing around with. And I also thought, if I find one strategy, it's going to work forever. Just need to figure out that one strategy and it's going to work forever. And was not able to adapt, especially after I realized after the first 2 months that things were changing and they weren't working. And I was like, well, this is weird. Why isn't it working anymore? Basically during that 9 months while I was still learning and straight rookie, like I really knew that I didn't know, like I thought I knew everything. And now that I look at it, I don't know shit. I think I made about like 20 or 25 grand in like 3 months. Nice. And I was like, and I was really happy about that. Yeah. And but now I realized that it wasn't about the money. It was about, was I trading correctly? And if I was able to trade consistently for a long period of time, because I kept doing what I was doing, my account would be at zero.
I want to take this time to say thank you to our sponsor, Cobra Trading. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah. So after that, mentally, I was just like, I can't take this anymore. This is insane. Lost everything in the next like month, And then my account was at like 7 grand
Yeah.
after making all that money, right? And that's like a mental hit.
You're
Like,
back
damn,
to
I
your
put some
7 grand, right?
exactly,
Okay, gotcha.
exactly. Yeah, and not the whole thing.
Yeah.
So 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 then so I feel like I really need to take some time off. And while I was learning, your YouTube channel is one of the ones I stumbled across. And I
Thanks,
have to
brother.
say, man, the content that you're putting out is A1. It really is. And
Thanks, man.
I'm only realizing it later on how important it is. You know, when you're
Yeah.
first getting started, I was looking for this setup and this setup and this one setup, and it's a lot more than that. And I've learned a lot through this. I also started a small WhatsApp group for my friends that also trade, and I share your videos with them all the
Thanks,
time, all
man.
the interviews. I got all of them on it. So you're great. The content, keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome.
Appreciate you, bro.
So basically what I was doing was with that trading style was basically taking, I'm a very ADHD, very, very fast thinker, always thinking all the time. So I was like, instead of trying to hold stocks for 10, 15, 20 minutes where I get really antsy or I start overthinking or stuff like that, why don't I just super leverage the position for very small, basically scalp it, right?
Okay.
Without knowing what I was doing. And you see a green candle, you get in and you ride it up, and the second you're in profit, you cut it, and if it goes against you for a second, then you take your loss. And I was doing that for a while. I was making $500 to $1,000 a day. And if I got to my max loss, which I said was $300, I'd cut it. I'd be done for the day. Sometimes I'd finish in the first couple minutes. Sometimes it would take me a lot longer. But obviously that did not continue for a long enough period of time for it to be sustainable. So now I'm at a completely, after taking some time off or whatever, I actually just watched your video that you just uploaded, the one.
Oh, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing, man. I literally
Thanks,
thought
man.
you posted that just for the questions I was going to ask today. So I thought that was pretty funny. But so yeah, so then I saw you, and you started like looking at the big picture and looking at key areas and only trading off those key areas. And I'm like, wait a second, I wasn't even doing that. I wasn't making a watch list. I was only looking at stocks that move the most and saying, oh, maybe they continue, maybe I need to short them, or I don't know, let's say I was trading a lot of gappers. So like big stocks, I'd watch the SPY right in front of me. I have a screen of the SPY, and I'd watch these blue chip names that move exactly with them. So if I know the SPY is coming up, and the stock has to move as well. So I'm just trading based off of SPY momentum. And I have to say that from the beginning, I did find success. It was very interesting. It was one of the first things I did where I was like, okay, I have something to this, like something actually is clicking here.
Okay.
So, and I'm very passionate about it. Like, I really do enjoy it, every day showing up, and it's really awesome. Just thinking differently every single day. You never show up to the same thing. So now I'm kind of at a point where I'm thinking about, do I look at some sort of services? Do I continue to try to do this by myself? And the main reason I wanted to reach out to you is to kind of pick your brain a little bit on how you approach trading the bigger picture, as opposed to finding important levels on the daily chart and trading off that. I have some examples, and yeah, that's basically why I reached out to you. And
I appreciate it, Micah.
yeah.
Well, okay, so overall though, how long have you been trading? Because I kind of missed the where you say you started trading. What year?
2021. It's
Okay.
been about,
Oh, okay, dude, you're
yeah,
so fresh. Yeah, you're so
yeah,
fresh.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
cool.
I got
This is good. This is good. I'm interested to also know, before we dive into other things, is when you said you start to follow the SPY, watch the SPY, and then trade big caps, basically using the SPY as a guide.
right.
And you said you found some success at first and you thought it was going to work. I'm curious to know if that was around like certain times where this overall market was breaking key levels on the daily and weekly chart where we saw panic. So that's going to definitely cause some momentum on the big caps. So I could see that if that was the case, then that's probably why you saw some saw it working.
Right. So I actually found this YouTube channel. This guy name is Mayor Barack. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. He has a service or anything like that. And I basically see he only trades stocks that were gapping up, and he'd only watch the SPY. If the SPY start is showing bullish signs, he'd look to trade that stock, or whether he's following the Nasdaq, or whether it's a tech stock, or he's following the S&P. Mostly he's following the S&P.
Okay.
And I was just able. That was the first time I was able to watch on YouTube a live trading room, and I was able to see reactions of people trading. I would just sit there and watch this thing all day, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's all I do. And just based on that, I was like, okay, I'm starting to understand how this guy trades, whether if I knew it was, right for me with my tendencies to trade that way or not. But I was actually seeing someone trade for the first time, as opposed to buy here, sell here, there's an alert on this stock, all that crap. So after watching that for a while, I actually started taking some of the trades he was taking, even though it was in a delay of like 10, 15 seconds. I was able to identify where he was going to take the trades at that point, and I was making money. Making money, but these were all gappers.
Those are gone.
There you go.
Those are gone. Okay.
And I only realized it like, I don't know, a month or two ago, but during then I didn't know any better. I really didn't. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have switched up real quick.
So, just be careful when you follow someone, as you probably already know. It's, sometimes you can make money, sure. But for the most part, it's very, very challenging and hard to do. So, and you don't know his real risk tolerance and his stops and all that stuff. So it's just hard. But that's not what you're here for. So I'm happy to either go into sharing my screen, and maybe I could share. I did a trade. So here's the other thing, a couple of things. Number one, things change. The market's constantly changing, and I struggled this year. I had to recently adapt, and you're not alone. There's a lot of traders. I went to Traders for a Cause this year, met tons of traders who are way better than me, who've been on the show as well. And on one-on-one private conversations off camera, they were telling me as well, like, it's been a difficult year. Some have had, a difficult year. Some have had flat years. Some have had baby green years. So like, just know, like, there's a lot of adapting going on, because the market is no longer in a bullish trend. We're more bearish. And a lot of us traders who are only in it for like 8 years or less, even 10 maybe, don't have any experience trading bear markets, period. We can go look at the past and look at it, but we have no experience trading live in bear markets. So it's okay if you found something that works and then it goes away. That's normal. It happened to me as well. So here's the other thing, though. In this market, what I have found from personal experience, and I made the adjustment for, is mediocrity, like B+ setups, or let's say you have 5-star setups, like your best setups. 4-star setups back in the bull markets, I probably take. But in the bear market, 4-star setups is mediocrity. Like anything under 5-star, just the odds are no longer just sliding in your favor, to where you want to avoid them. You want to go for the perfect setups, because it's a very difficult market right now. We have a lot of news happening. We have all this stuff in our Ukraine happening. We have elections coming up. We have inflation happening every freaking day. So like all of these news, we have bear markets, the overall market breaking new levels even today. So like all that happening is going to cause a lot of different emotions in the market. So you want to be very, very selective, and you want to keep in mind, if you're going to be trading big caps, you want to know what news is coming out today. And what I mean by that is just like big announcements. So like if the Fed's going to announce something today, you need to know that, because you can be in a beautiful position, Micah, that is a great setup. And then they announce something, out of left field, and then it just tanks your position. And just like, what happened? And if you're not aware that there's news that's going to come out at 1 o'clock today, then you don't know that maybe you should position accordingly for that news. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, I traded yesterday at Amazon, and I used the big picture for this trade. So I'll show it to you. I'm going to be doing a whole trade recap and post it on YouTube way later, but I'll show it to you right now. So let me get.
I just also want to just add something in there as far as you're talking about just knowing, just in overall, just in a macroeconomic spectrum, especially now, just what's going on. I was on top of it. I really was. I was watching every Fed, like as I was trading. I knew when CPI came out, when PPI came out, when everything came out, and I was watching it. And also in the trading that I was watching, they'd announced it the day before. But I had a list of everything, so I really was on top of it. My biggest problem was the insane sizing I was taking for literally trading for a couple months. Literally, I was taking money that I had no business trading in insane, retarded leverage positions, just so I could scalp them for a little bit to say I was in the money, because I wasn't working at the time. I didn't have a job. So I was like, I'm going to trade immediately for a living, you know?
Yep.
And that pressure is insane. That pressure is so crazy. So at the beginning it worked, right? And I was like, oh shit, I got it. I fucking got it. And then the second I left my foot off the gas, let's say I had my max loss was $500 a day.
Yep.
So I'd hold to that for like a good month. And then when I started making money, I was like, maybe 600, maybe 700. And before I know, I was having days where I was like losing $2,000.
Yep.
Right. And and I was going out of my way to look for every opportunity I could make money, as opposed to every opportunity I could lose money. And I was flipping chart to chart, looking at 20 different charts on this screen. Oh, that looks good right now. Enter. I wasn't even left and right, scalping it. And literally, I think we were supposed to have a meeting. I think it was like a week or two ago, and you wind up pushing it back, which I think personally was like a gift from God, because during that time I was really able to step back and look at some of these smaller caps and on the daily and draw out lines. And as of now, I haven't been trading. This is the longest period of time I've taken off trading. It's been like a month now. But I'm drawing these support and resistance lines, and I'm saying to myself, I'm writing it down, paper trading.
Yeah.
Even when I'm paper trading, I'm still getting nervous, because I know if I don't get it right now, I'm not going to get it right with zero money.
Yeah, because you've experienced it now. So now
100%.
Yep.
Exactly. I never did paper trade coming into it. I was just taking very, very small positions. I was only buying bounces off VWAP. I'm really at the beginning trading pre-market, but I was trying everything. So I got a lot of experience early on, as opposed to a lot of people are scared, I think, to take a lot of these trades early on. Things are super volatile and they won't touch it. I was playing everything. So now it's like I said. So now is really the point where I came to you and really want to get a look at this broader picture and taking my time through trades and stuff like that, and work on making a percentage as opposed to making money.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing. When you said that you're just you were looking for everything. So what I like to do when I'm trading well, because I'll make mistakes, but like when I'm trading well, I am planning out the trade, right? Even if it's a day trade, swing traders think this way too, but like I'm planning out the trade. I know what I want to see. I have if-then statements, like if the stock does this, then I'm going to do this. If it does this, I'm going to do X. And I have that already planned out. And if it doesn't do any of those two if-thens, then I don't do it, anything. So I have this all planned. So when it does the move that I expect, then I know what to do. So like I already have my orders out there. I'm calm. And I'm waiting for it to go to my order. I pick my price. The stock doesn't pick the price. So when I'm trading like really on my A game, that's how I want to be. So I want you to be thinking like that. So that way, whenever you plan out your trade, if you know where you want to get in, you're like, man, I really want to get in at this level. Just put your order there. Maybe small, really small, because you want to get familiar. Really small, like a tenth of the size of what you normally would, because you want to build habits. And then when it gets executed, then you can look at it, right? That could be your alert, right? And then you can look at it and be like, okay, do I still like this position? Do I want to add to this position now? That's a little different than opposed to just hitting it with your size, or when something is getting there and you see it out of nowhere and like you didn't even do an analysis, right? You didn't even look at it. You just saw that it was dropping to a level that you found just that second, and then so you're like buying. Like if you do that, you're going to be nervous, you're going to have anxiety, and you're not going to be able to stick to it. You're not going to be able to stick to it. And you may be right and you might be wrong, but overall you're wrong because you're not prepared, right? So like, that's something I want you to be aware of. But let me show you something real quick, and then
it sounds so funny hearing you say that. Like I sound so stupid now that I hear you say that. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear what I was doing, and I'm like, damn.
But we've all done it. Everyone has, every single person who's actually traded before and who actually pressed the button has all at some point in their life and career, they've gone through this phase. And some take longer than others. Some have different phases where they take longer in other parts. Everyone has their own journey. So let me show you this real quick. Let's see. All right. Can you see right here at the screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Amazon, okay? And I took this trade yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and, excuse me, getting over this allergy. So Amazon, everything I do is off of the daily, weekly, monthly first, right? I always want to look at that. So with Amazon, what I was looking for is like, I look at them weekly. It's very obvious. Like, you know, we already know we're in a bearish market. We see everything breaking down. So when I go to the daily chart, I'm looking for key levels. And I don't really see anything on this chart. Like, let's go ahead and go like this. Actually, a cool thing about TradingView, man, is you can actually do it. Like, you can actually do this where you can see what it looked like yesterday. Okay. So in other words, this is what it looked like yesterday. Okay. I didn't know it was going to happen. We had no idea. And it was today. Yeah. So it was the 10th. All we knew was up to the 10th, October 10th. We didn't know what the 11th was going to look like. So when I end up seeing this chart, I saw this level right here and I thought this could be a key level because it looks like it tested 3 times. However, I want to see it in the zoom in format, right? So I'm going to go to the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So I'll go to the 4 hour and you'll see right here that it actually tested 3 times, right? And then apparently it just went back to the 11th. So anyway, that's the day I traded it. So it tested 3 times, that key level. It's pretty obvious to see, right? That level. And not only is it obvious to see, but if we add volume on that, you'll see that there's volume at those levels. The volume is nothing significant. It's just average volume. So there's nothing really say much there. But look at these candles. Let's zoom in. Look at these candles. Let me highlight these candles real quick. So check out this candle right here. And then this candle right here.
Yep.
And then this candle right here. So they all have tons of buying pressure pushing it back up when it gets to that level because they're just wicking, right? So that's a good sign that's showing me that there's a lot of buyers there and they're using that level to accumulate. So that's just going to give me more confidence that I want to use that level as something, as a signal. Maybe now I'm going to short it right away, but it's a signal that, okay, we're going to continue downward. So when I saw that, I drew my line at right here, 11, let's say 111.86. And then let's go ahead and let the day go out. 111.86. And then on this day, which was this day right here, it cracks, okay? And it cracks at the open. Like the open, let's go to 5 minute. 9:30, it immediately just tanks, right? And it cracks. It goes from 112.93 to 111.38. And it really just tanks from like 113 just straight down. Like there was no bounce. You see that? So when that happens, like I'm not just going to short that right away. And because it's a chase, right? Like at the end of the day, like most times we see stocks, if they just panic, we'll get a bounce. So I want to wait for that bounce. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if the bounce is going to happen right away, but I know that I want to wait for a bounce because number one, the first thing has happened. First thing is I looked at the daily chart and I found a key level, right? Second thing, I look in the hourly chart and I determine that a key level has been tested and it looks clean, okay? If it doesn't look clean, like we looked earlier and it was obvious, right? You saw it was clear. Yeah. If it's easy for you to show your brother, your sister, and you're teaching someone that you know, if it's easy for you to explain to someone else, that's what I mean by clean. Okay. Otherwise, if you're like, oh, if you're just experienced and you're kind of like,
then you're looking for it.
This kind of looks like it. Yeah. Then you're looking for it. Correct. If you're looking for it, you'll find something. You know what I'm saying? But your goal is to disqualify, which is tough because you may not trade that often. Like I think I only traded once in the past today's Wednesday. So I traded once this week so far. So, but it's a slim market, bro. You know, everyone who's in my Discord room, like they're trading, but probably most of those people are just losing. Like they're just trading all day. Like in every room. Like, why are you trading so much? Like the best traders I've met, they don't trade every second. Like they just really, I mean, there's a select few of scalpers, but there's a select few of those guys, like a very select few. For the majority of people, they're like really aiming and looking for that right spot. So getting back to a daily chart, hourly, make sure it's very clean. I'm looking at the 30-minute too, but we already saw on the hourly, it was so clean, right? And then from there, I want to see it trigger. So the trigger was we broke that level. So now I'm interested. So I have alert at that level. So when it got hit, I'm now looking at the stock. So I'm not getting in at that level, but at least lets me know, Alex, you prepared for this. You said that you wanted to watch this if it broke this level, because now you want to short it. That's all that my thesis was, if it broke that level. So once I saw that it went straight down, I knew that I want to wait for a bounce, because here's how I think. Could be completely wrong, but this is how I think. I'm thinking, let's go show you something. If I end up taking a short position here at that level, right?
Right.
I have to risk. If you're going to risk a key level, you have to risk at least that area, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense to like not risk that area. I mean, it just went straight down. Like it could bounce anywhere in this area. So for me to get like a good risk reward, bro, like it'd be, even whenever it tanked, let's say it tanked to this level, like where it did. Let's say you got in and it tanked straight here. Your risk reward is 0.7. It's not even 1-to-1.
Right.
It's right here, 0.7. You can customize this however, so you can put like $1,000. Doesn't matter. Like this is default.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to put, it's pretty cool. But it just says 1-to-1, right? It's not even 1-to-1. It's 0.7. So in other words, you want to wait for it to be a good risk reward next, right? I wanted to wait. Now it triggered. I know I want to be short, but where do I want to be short and what level? So I want to risk off of this level, right? That's it. That's ideally what I want to see. I want to get as close as I can to that level. Now, when it started to bounce up, let me go ahead and delete that. Now you saw that. Whenever it started to bounce up, I took a half position, only half on the straight bounce at 113.50. The reason I took that position there is because of this level. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm going to explain something, because I didn't get stopped out when it went higher. So I'm going to explain that here in a second. On big caps, okay, especially stocks that are over $100, you have to give it some breathing room. Things are not perfect. Okay. So like what I thought was, I went back to the 15-minute. Okay. And I went like this. Let's go back to that day right here. And let's put an arrow here so we don't lose this day, because it'll be annoying. Okay. So on this day, whenever it bounces up, before it even gets there, bro, I'm thinking, where are the key levels? Okay. So I'm drawing that level. I drew this level and then this level. Okay. Those are the key levels. And then I'm asking myself, what level am I wrong on? Like if it holds above, like, am I just wrong? And if I zoom out, it helps me when I zoom out. Let's go to like a 30-minute. If you zoom out, and I'll delete all this so you're not focused over here anymore.
You're good. I'm following you. You're good.
All right. So if you zoom out, right, and it pops up, I could see it, breaking above here, because it's pretty quick. But this level, if it breaks above here, in my opinion, this is where it becomes more of an art and experience, where I thought this key level is more important, because yesterday it had a panic, bounced, and couldn't break above here. And then today, this level is kind of important, but it's just like at the open, it's like at the open we drop. So this is the more important level that I want to gauge as risk. So when I took my half position here, I'm ideally want to stop out if it holds above this line, the 114.70, and I need it to hold above that line. And so I gave it, because I gave it all the way up to 115.55. I gave it a few pennies above 50, because in penny stocks, small caps, I trade those as well. Whenever something wicks you out for 10 cents and like it pops up above 2, you're using a stop of 2 and it goes to 205 and then tanks, and you're like, fuck, I got stopped out because you're risking 201. Okay. So in those cases, you want to give it at least 10 to 15 cents, depending on the stock and the price, right? You want to give it some wiggle room. If you're going to use 2, you maybe put your stop at 210, 215. So that way you don't get wicked out, but you still size accordingly. You're not trying to size for 2 anymore. You need to size with that risk in mind. So with that being said, with $100 stocks, I give it $1 room, because like Tesla, you ever trade Tesla? Tesla moves
I was
a
trading
dollar
Tesla
every
before the
penny.
split
I
though.
mean, every
Yeah.
1 minute. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like when it does that, if you think you're gonna have a stop that's, you know, to the penny, like good luck. Like it's just not gonna work. But in this case, I was sizing in for the 115.50s. I almost got stopped out. The high here is 115.48. So I was really close to getting stopped out. And then it ended up working and working in my favor. And I think I could share. I think I took a picture of it.
So I'm definitely following you. I understand.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I see.
All right. So I took half, like where I said I was, near that high. And then it almost stopped me out. And then the reason I took the other half to full size here is because of this right here. I'll show you. And here's another signal that I'm looking for intraday. So you'll see that once I took that half position, I then noticed I took it here, half position. Then it dropped and it held this level and popped. And I noticed it's a beautiful trend. So now I don't want to add the other half until it breaks this and fully the big picture matches the intraday picture. And now I can go full size and write it down. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. Dope. So any questions?
So I was saying that like you were specifically looking over a large cap stock right now, but when I started, I was actually trying to trade like the penny stocks and smaller cap stocks because they move more, you know. So I thought, they're cheaper. I could load up on shares and whatever. That's scary. It's super scary. But specifically, I'm trading on TOS also. Like those charts are just really easy to see. I really like the charting there.
Yep.
So like I have a specific stock I wanted to go over. Okay. If you don't mind.
Yeah. What stock?
Let me find the ticker real quick. Actually, two. The first one is IMUX, and the second one is PEGY.
All right. Well, which one do you want to do first?
Let's do IMUX because I got it up right here.
So you want to share your screen?
We could do that.
So you could tell me what you were seeing. And apparently it's gonna. Oh no, we're good. We're good. If it kicks us off, we'll just log right. I'll send you a new invite to your email.
Okay. You see it?
Yep.
So I mean, I got mad levels drawn up on here, but so I remember how I came on this stock yesterday, but like I was watching it on this first gap up day and the second day thinking it was going to do exactly what it was. I can't even remember why now. I'm gonna be honest, but I think it was just the volume, and then it was looking for some sort of follow through on it. But today I was actually looking for the short, and
that makes sense. I was too.
Yeah. So I always realized that like I always find these tickers. My thought process is always right. It really is. And I find a way to screw it up every time.
Okay. Yeah.
My initial thought process is right. And then I like psych myself out of it right every time. Most of the time it's like that. But so I think I was looking for the short off of like this candle right here. Mm-hmm. Like that's where the area I was going to take my first stab. Again, I was paper trading this, like I was writing this down. I wasn't taking these positions right now. And then we fail at 9, and that's where I want. When we failed there, I was saying to myself, that's where I'd really size up and then watch it roll over below where the stock opened below 8. But I didn't draw that level out at all. It made sense after the fact, but I missed that level. And now on the daily, you wouldn't see that. But how was I supposed to know that after hours just because we moved at 9 because it was a whole dollar? Was that supposed to show the importance there?
Okay,
so is that what I missed? You get what I'm saying?
I think okay, so I'm gonna tell you. So I was looking at the stock today. Okay. And I was looking at it as a short. I didn't trade it, but that was my main watch. I was ready to short it when it triggered for me, but it did not trigger for me. And I'll explain why in a minute. But the $9 level, let me see. Sure, like it held, but you know, like it's a consolidation zone from yesterday and pre-market and after hours. Mm-hmm. So like you can use that level. That's no problem. But like I was more so, whether it's right or wrong, okay, I was using the 980s. I was like where you had that line up there. I was using that
Here,
980s level, a little higher, like near the highs.
up
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah. And the reason it was 980s, so like below 10. And the reason I was using that is
Okay.
because I also noticed that this stock is easy to borrow. Okay.
Okay.
And SSR was triggered before at the open. Okay.
Okay.
So, and it's because it's easy to borrow and SSR is triggered, there's gonna be a lot of short sellers shorting this because they all think it's going to be a short. Now, granted, I mean, in your time period and in your window, maybe you were right. Like if you, I don't know how you trade, but like it did drop from 9 to 750, 100%.
Yeah.
But overall, it is not dropping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Overall, like it still held key levels because if you look to the left, you could draw a pivot line, you could draw a trend line that it actually started to hold at the open.
Like there.
Yes, bro.
I got
There's
so
a
much
nice,
up here.
yeah,
It's
you had,
crowded.
yeah,
So
yeah. But whatever that yellow line is actually
200.
pretty, yeah, whatever that is. Yep.
Okay.
If you zoom out, go show me yesterday and today. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then you see on the pre-market yesterday, you see that red candle in the pre-market that's at the lowest low pre-market. Yeah. Yep. If you draw a trend line from that candle all the way up, it lines up beautifully to today's pre-market, and today's open drop, multiple hits. And it's a beautiful trend line that shows me that we're still bullish. It did crack later, but then it reclaimed. Here, I'll share my screen. How about that?
Here. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let me get you. I got you.
Man.
Go ahead and cancel your share screen.
Yeah, 1 second. How do I get out of this? Oh, new shit. How do I get out of this?
I think it's on the very top. There should be like a shared screen button.
Stop share.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
Yep. All right, I got you. Here we go.
Be.
So you see this line right here? And it like lines up perfectly. Like if we just see this, because it's all we had right there. You know, that's all the information we had. So that right there, and because pre-market, we held this level of pre-market. That was a low, right? At the pre-market, and we popped, we held, and then we start to hold this trend line. And then we finally, we tested it 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th time we cracked, right?
Okay.
But this 5th time, I'm not shorting it right away because we still have this pivot right here. And if you short here, the risk reward's garbage. I mean, like you got to risk at least it's $1. And then like you can't anticipate 780 to break. Like you got to assume that it's going to hold because that's good risk management. And so you want to make sure you get a bounce. So I was waiting for a bounce. If it bounced right here right here, straight up, I would have shorted it and then risk here and then rode it to here and got good risk reward, but it did not. It just faded, held, just faked people out. People were shorting this crack. They faked them out and then held underneath just for a little bit, about 20 minutes, and then squeezed. And now people are shorting it because this is green red. 941 is green red. It barely touched it and didn't even go green and failed. So people are shorting this because they're just thinking, oh, it's red. We try to go green. We couldn't. We try to break this high. We couldn't. They're being too they're not seeing everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm almost there, but I feel like I always miss maybe 1 or 2 levels or something. You know,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and that's because there's so much, bro. Like and that's normal. You need a checklist, man. You need a checklist.
Because then you can overanalyze stuff.
Yes, bro. You need a checklist. Like, so that way, let me show you for example. We're gonna probably
so I got a question.
Yeah.
Based on the small amount of information I've told you so far.
Yeah.
What do you think overall I'm missing, and what I should be adding to steps to be taken before the way I execute the trades or not? Because, like you said, we're looking at the same things and we have the same ideas. So that's a plus.
Yeah, a big picture wise.
You know what I'm saying?
Like big picture, we're like, okay, this is a short. It could be a short. It doesn't mean it's a short right now, but it's
because in the past I'd be like, oh, stock's up, so like it's a long, you know, like I wouldn't even have known.
So what you need to be
So
working on then is you need to make sure, like, okay, since you already got kind of like you're picking the right stocks, right? I'm
yeah,
assuming that because I haven't seen all your
all
trades,
the
right?
I
But if
had
you
I
are,
yeah, I
okay, if
am
you are picking the right stocks, then the next
yeah,
step is intraday. You want to make sure that you then draw your key levels intraday. Okay. So like the past couple of days. So if it's a stock that's ran 3 days with good volume on those 3 days, you want to find out where those key levels are, because if the stock is going to go red today, but there's a key level like 20 cents away from your entry, don't freaking take the trade. Like, it makes no
yeah,
sense, because then your risk
right,
reward, you're gambling. Like, it could work and it could break, but you don't know, like, you'll learn the wrong lesson. Like, you'll make money
yep,
on it and you'll be like,
right,
hell yeah, I knew it was a short. And sure, big picture was a short, but intraday was not ready yet. And it just happened to
right,
work. So like, you see how I was like using yesterday's action to kind of
yep,
judge today and the pre-market low. I was like, okay,
right,
if pre-market low cracks, that's a better sign that, you may miss it though. Like, if you wait for its crack, that's what you got to be
right,
okay with. I
right.
noticed that you were saying earlier, like, you like to take the trade. So
Oh man,
that FOMO is everyone has it, even myself, is like, what you're going to learn now is you got to learn that you recognize that everyone feels that when they see it as well. And they're just
right,
taking it and just pause for a second and just be like, yo, like, what would make this trade significantly become a pair of aces instead of a pair of twos? You know what I'm saying? Like, right now it's a pair of twos and it could work and I could make money on this pair of twos.
okay,
What would make that pair of twos into a pair of aces? And in this case, the pair of twos was big picture. Like, oh shit, like, it's short. I love it. It's up 3 days in a row, up over 150%. Yesterday, it looked like it topped out and then it faded after hours. And then pre-market, it's continuing the fade and then went lower, but then held a low. Okay, it's a pair of twos right now. I'm excited, right? I want to trade this. And then what's going to make this a pair of aces? Do you look at intraday and say what key levels need to be tested? Maybe it touched if it would have done two things for me, I would have traded it. If it would have went to the highs of yesterday and
hmm
hit the highs, it has to hit
that's
it.
what I was waiting for. That's what I was initially looking for.
So like, your gut's telling you, but you're
Yeah,
impatient. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
you want to,
Yep,
yeah, you want to take it. You're like, I'll just take it now because what if I miss it? So
yep.
like, and you gotta be okay with missing it, bro.
And
Because
sometimes I just take it just to take it to say I traded today. You know, I did work. You know, or whatever you
bro,
want to
I'm
justify it
so
as.
glad you said that. So I come from a working class family and I worked my ass
Uh-huh.
off in corporate life and really, like, when I left corporate life, and it was so hard for me I felt like a piece of shit. I felt lazy whenever I didn't trade. I felt like
Bro,
I'd sit here all day,
yeah,
but like, what did I do? I just sat here and I
facts.
start to judge myself. I'm like, am I a man for my wife and stuff like that? Like, I used to do all that stuff, man. And it's
I
because
get that, bro.
we're taught and how to be like we're just raised
Work
to
hard, not
work
smart.
hard. Yeah, just work hard.
Yeah, yeah.
But in this industry, what we need to do is like, when Warren Buffett talks about, he's like, I just wait for money to be in a corner and be easy to grab, and then I just go grab it. Like, but you got to wait for that. Like, you just got to
Right,
wait. And if you wait for that to happen, like, I wanted to see it hit highs and fell. I would have hit it hard. I would have hit it as hard as I can, because
right.
now I have
And then you could risk
confirmation.
that 10 area.
Yep. Then you could risk that
Yeah,
10 area. So like, if you do that now, like, if you miss it and it goes to 980 and it fails, okay, all right, well, the pair of twos worked today. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
yeah,
well. But you keep doing it this way and you wait,
right.
and you might place one trade a week, bro. Like, if that ends up being the case, I already know you have discipline deep down, because you said that you watched for like a 6, 7, I don't know, several months and didn't place one
All
trade.
day, all day,
So
every
do
day.
that. Have the intention to never place a trade until you're forced. And then that way, if you place one trade a week, and let's just say that's 4 trades a month, and you only
Right,
have, let's just say, because you're being so selective, let's say you have a 50-50 win percentage. Let's just say that
right,
you win 2, you lose on 2, and you have good risk reward because you're waiting for the aces. So you have 2-to-1 minimum, maybe 3-to-1. So you're always on top. And if you only do that, bro, every day, every month, and you only place 4 trades a month, what ends up happening is you'll have more confidence on those 4 trades. And then you can risk 1,000 on that one trade to make 3,000. And then you can raise next time as you grow, you can risk 5,000. So you don't need more trades to make more money. You need more confidence in your setup
100%.
to make more money.
100%.
That's it.
I agree.
Like Bruce Lee said, bro, just doing the same roundhouse kick over and over. That's the guy I'm scared of. I'm not scared of the guy who learns 18 disciplines. I'm scared of the guy who only does one thing. So we as traders, why it's so hard is because we are taught, most of us are taught, work to get results, make more money. Whereas this is like, no, sit back, don't do anything until it makes sense for you to risk your money.
It all goes against human nature. Everything about this goes against human nature.
Yes, bro.
It's so crazy. Everything about it. And I've realized I've learned so much about myself and the way I act outside of trading, the way I talk to people, the way I listen more. I'm a very talkative person. I tend to talk, try to cut people off. And lately I realized I'm being more patient. I'm letting the other person speak before I talk back or stuff like that. So it's just crazy. You don't even need a psychologist if you can do this stuff.
Yeah, bro. I love that you said that because it shows you who you are. It really does. Yes. And it shows you your weaknesses. 100%. It shows everything, bro.
Shows you your weaknesses.
And you can't argue because it's just you by yourself. So you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah, it's not like your coach is like, yo, bro, you need to stop doing that. I'm like, nah, I'll be all right. And they're like, no, it's yourself, right? So you're like, shit. But make a checklist, man. Okay. Make sure after you see big picture, you check intraday, check all the levels, and then ask yourself, what's going to make this a no-brainer? And if you say it has to break the highs and fell, or it has to break the lows first before I'm even going to take a short, you have to wait. And that could mean it breaks the lows and just continues, right? Like Amazon could have done that to me. It could have just broke the lows and just went. And I would have lost. I would not lost, but I would have never traded it. But like I waited for it to come all the way back. So like you have to wait. Like I could have easily missed that. So you got to be okay with waiting for it, and you pick the price, bro. Like put your order out there. If you know it broke lows, let's just say it today, IMUX broke to touch the highs, right? Touch the highs, failed. And let's say that level, just for simplicity, it was $10 was your risk. It fails 10, comes all the way down to 950. And you're like, okay, it's aces now. Like it just failed 10 and went straight down right away to 950. And you're going to be faced with two things. Number one, your emotions are going to be like, fuck, I got to get in this because my signal was there. And you might, the wrong decision is getting in right there at 950. Now you got to risk 50 cents, right? Instead, what you could do, what I want you to do is say, where do I want to get in where the risk reward's like easy money and I could just make money quick, 3-1, and I don't have to like sit in this all day. Be like, okay, I want to get in 975. Put your order there and just let it sit there and have a stop above it already ready to go. Mm-hmm. So that way when it hits it, emotions are out and you already have your stop there and you let the thing play. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't hit it, you're good to go. Like you don't play. It's just how it is. Like, you play basketball. What if in basketball, you could pick every opponent that you played to get to the championship and you picked all the opponents you could beat? Like, why not? Right. I want to go to the championships. I want that ring. So like, if you could pick the easiest opponents, that's trading. You could pick the easiest opponents. Instead, we're trying to pick every opponent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Like, we only got so much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, go after the easy ones, man. Yeah. That's the biggest takeaway, I think.
I'm just trying to take some notes.
Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good. And then this will be posted, and so you'll be able to watch it too.
Yeah, some of my friends are going to want to see this, so I already told them that they're already waiting for this to come out.
Yeah. I appreciate you. Any other questions, man?
You think we got just quickly can go over PEGY real quick?
Absolutely.
We don't have to share my screen because my screen's kind of like.
All right, no worries.
I got a lot of lines up there, but I can tell you where I had levels.
Sure. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, can you see my screen?
Hold up. 1 second. Yeah. No,
PEGY, right?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
All right. This is it. I love this. I love this big picture right now. Just FYI. I mean, you see my lines already there. So, all right. Where do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Intraday?
So that actually no. So that like daily. Can you explain me a bit what you saw here? Because
Okay.
like this just kind of looks crazy to me. It looks really extended and
Yes, bro.
yeah.
Okay. Couple of things. Number one, I love that it's extended. I love that it's extended. So like
Because
that
I know
makes
you're a
me,
short bias trader. You talk about that in your videos all the time. So I don't have a bias. Like I'm biased long because things always tend to go up over time. Just like I guess it's a mental
yeah.
thing. But you make your money a lot faster on the short side. Things fall a lot quicker than they go up usually.
I do long too. I only have I think 2 long strategies, but
Uh-huh.
they're not really here right now. But
Right.
so short wise, what I drew
Yeah.
these lines because number one, it hit, this is a key area. Look at this massive volume here, 31 million shares traded up here, and it also hit this area on this day. So I drew the line on that area. That's why that line's there.
Mm-hmm.
This line's here because it's a key support, because after it popped up, it dropped and we held a pivot. This pivot is super important to me because there's a lot of volume here and we bounce. So anything I have to assume, whether this is right or wrong, I don't give a shit what people think. This is how I do it, and this is what I believe in,
Yep.
and it works for me. So, like, if I have to assume that this is going to hold, I'd love for it to break. But if I'm going to short anything, like if I short at 450 and I risk 50 cents, that means, all the way to 350, 320s. I mean, that's $1. That's 1 to 2 to 1 best case. So that's like, that's okay because we don't execute perfectly. So therefore, I probably get like 1.5 to 1. So it's not great. So I wouldn't touch it. So it helps me avoid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? The risk reward is not there. Why would I even risk my money? But so that's why these lines are here. And then the same thing with this line right here. I have to remember why that line's there. Oh yeah. See, so if you look here on the 15-minute, like we popped, failed, popped, came back down, tested it. So this made me draw it right here because this is a key area. So like if I was going to short it and it broke this line, then I got to assume 277 is a profit target. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it. And what other questions you got?
Yeah. So now let's say on the intraday, let's say what it did today.
Yeah,
I was looking for the long today.
I could see that for sure.
I mean, especially off this like this pre-market push, popped up like 20% pre-market, and I had a
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is pre-market right here. Yeah. So go ahead and tell me what you said. Go ahead.
no, so I really was looking at around this what do you call it, like 620 to $6,
Uh-huh.
and I was looking to go long off 620 and risk 6 to get that push to $7. And I also had a resistance line exactly at 750, and that's exactly where it happened. This is before the stock actually made any of those moves.
Yeah.
Um, and it kind of like exhausted right above, touched a high of 754, and then came down, and then I was just trading in a channel between right above exactly bounced off 620 again and 750, and just holding that. So I was looking to go long once that there's a candle 1 2 3, this, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth 5-minute candle. It was kind of like a doji candle. I was looking to get long there and then
At
risk
what
six
time?
at 4:45 my
Oh, what
time.
time zone
So
are you?
that would be 9:45. That'd be 15 minutes after the open.
Okay. So then 9:45 is right here. This candle.
Exactly. That's candle right here, and then I risk into 6 and then try to get that push towards 7.
Okay. I can see why you
Does that
took
make
that because
sense?
you're probably thinking like, well, why did you like, no, explain to me what did you see? Like, why did you like this trade?
So
Is it
I
just because it's
saw
up pre-market?
it wasn't just that, it
Okay.
was that that it gapped up so much from yesterday,
Okay.
from the prior day. And then immediately like held that's $6. I was really watching $6 and it just held above it. Now I wanted to see it come down to $6 and hold 6 even. And then if it broke 6, just get out there. But it didn't even get down there.
Okay.
So I wrote it down as a long at 620. And then tried to ride it up to 7 and then wound up getting to 750.
I can see why you do it. I can see why you would do it. You know, so this is where trading is can be tough because my opinion is going to be different from yours right here. But like, I'm just gonna explain what I see. I can like, first off, on the daily, I didn't want to short it. So people were saying, let's short. I was like, fuck that. Like, it's a breakout. Look at this.
That's
right?
That's what I saw too. So
yeah. Okay, cool. So we're on the same page there. However, where I am not on the same page with, but I'm fine with it. I can see it. You had a plan. I'm cool with it. I wouldn't have done it. Doesn't mean it's not bad. Maybe it's a great setup. I don't trade this way. Okay. So, but I'm going to explain that I can see why you did this, but I would have saw it like this, like pre-market, we gapped up. Number one, we just gapped up too much for me where I don't want to long. I just want to kind of give it some time to reset up and reset. Okay. So I'd like for this to, like, this is long enough period for a reset for me. I need a couple hours. That's just a personal thing. But I do like this. Like pre-market, we're holding the 620s. And then at the open, we break above it. And then we even try to test it and we held. So I could see very clearly why you would take this trade. Okay. I personally would not have the guts to take this trade because here are the reasons. Okay. Like you take this with a grain of salt. Anytime there's a stock that's overextended. Okay. And this, sure, it's a breakout, but it's a breakout from here to here, which is 85% already up. And it's like a straight breakout. It's not like there's no red in between, there's no like little consolidation. So when that happens, like, I just feel the odds are more in the favor of like this thing could tank and it's already up a ton. So people just need one excuse to sell because they're up a lot. So they just need one excuse. And when that excuse comes, or maybe small caps, this is a small cap. Yeah. And small caps, especially float over 4 million, these stocks, when they pull the rug, they freaking pull the rug.
That's true.
And it drops. So risk is really hard to manage. So as long as you take that trade and you know that, then I'm good. Because if you know that, then you're sizing appropriately. Like, okay, this could break 6, but I might get out at 550 and that's worst case, or maybe even 5 worst case. So I'm going to size appropriately. If you're not sizing like that, then you're just waiting for that one day where it's going to catch up with you and then you're going to take a big hit. You know what I'm saying? So just know that.
I also, I've realized, because you just mentioned the float, and that's something that I remember that I want to ask you.
Yeah.
I realized that stocks that when the entire float isn't being traded, they tend to move more fluidly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they do. As long as it has volume, as long as it has good volume.
Yeah. So when do you determine when the float actually rotates and, the entire float is being traded? And then does that work towards, like, if there's a specific trend and the float is being traded, then it's has a higher chance to continue that way?
So
you get what I'm saying?
So like if the float,
again, I never took any course or anything like that, so I'm still learning.
I feel you.
Just happen to have some intuition to it.
Yeah, man. And it's phenomenal. Like, you've never done any of that, so that's really cool. Float wise, once you've determined the float, okay, let's say the float's 5 million. Okay.
Right.
If it rotates the float, if it already trades 5 million shares and it's been like if it's pre-market, my advice is don't touch it. Okay. This is what it means. Once it rotates the float, especially once, this is my personal rule. Some people will wait till it's twice, but for me, it's a guessing game at that point. Unless it really becomes a pair of aces, like we talked about earlier, like it does everything you want, then you maybe touch it. But if it does not do everything you want and it's rotated its float, what you'll find happen is it's going to be hard for both sides. Okay. It's going to stop out people on the long, stop out people on the shorts, and just keep on being complicated.
If it's rotated more than twice, you're saying?
I say once. That's just me.
Once.
That's my personal opinion, but there's other traders who say twice, but I say, like, once it rotates, I am aware I may trade it, but like it needs to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's not, I'm not touching it, because you'll get action that's usually choppy as hell, right? Like it's usually in a channel, a big channel sometimes. Like it's a big channel, but like it's wicking out on both sides, so everyone's getting stopped out. It's better to avoid. It's better to avoid. And then you get huge drops and huge pops. So like if you're long, that could be good. But what if you're long and then you get the huge drop? Like it just sucks. So it's just hard. It's just different.
Okay.
So that's something that I know a lot of traders who are like way more experienced than me. Some of them avoid completely rotated floats just because that just means that's crowded. Everyone's trading it. And so therefore there's even massive reactions of emotions, which means stop levels aren't really as respected. It's choppy.
Okay.
That's the key that you need to remember.
Okay. Interesting. I have another question. I know you got a lot going on trading and also the YouTube channel and everything. Do you do mentorships, anything like that, other than the one-on-one calls or anything like that? Is that something that you even thought or had time to do? Because I saw one of your videos. The first video was like a clip of you trading for a couple hours or whatever. I don't remember how far along ago it was, but I just like, because listen, at that point, bro, you were talking. I remember you also talked about really important journaling your trades or whatever. And I'm not the most organized person, so I was not doing any of that. And some days I was taking over 120 trades. It was insane.
Yeah.
And there's no way to.
You don't want to journal. Yeah, you're like,
no way. So, and then I saw you trade, and you knew what you were doing, the big pick, and you had everything set up. And then right before you the bell rang, you took this deep breath, and you were just like zoned in. A bomb could have blew it up outside your house, and you wouldn't give a fuck. And I was like, holy shit, that's where I want to be at. And then ever since then, I was like, dude, I got to learn how to look at things the way you do, because I was very connected to how you did that. It was just really dope.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I don't as of now, I don't have any intentions to. Like, my goal is to change the trading community for the better and provide good content to help others and just give back and just do it. And so to do that at scale, like I'm constantly like spread out. So these one-on-ones, like I'm actually considering getting rid of them, to be honest, because it's taking up, it just takes up time. Not everyone is open like you are to record. So like half the people don't let me record, have to, but at the same time, like maybe in the future one day, maybe. But I know for now, like it's just very man, it's to do it the way, like to help someone to do this.
Right.
Dude, you can tell like I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to show you. You know what I'm saying? Like that 1 hour is, but later when I'm done, it kind of drains you for another 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because like
I get that. I get that.
When you're coaching basketball, like you're zoned in. You want to analyze, see everything, and then you're thinking about it afterward. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I'm thinking before I meet you and after I meet. Like so it's kind of like that. So
I feel you.
Who knows? Maybe. As of now, the answer is no. I'm not doing that. But what I will say is we are trying to step up our education game. Just all free. The education ways. My team is expanding. Hired some more people who are going to help me develop more. Like I'm only good at like what I do. Like I can trade and I can talk about it, but like I'm not good at like drawing and illustrations. So I have new team members who are helping me illustrate it, and like I'll give it out on my channel. So like you'll be able to get stuff like that, and it's actual stuff that I wish that I had. Like everything I'm doing on my show is I wish I saw before I went through this hell. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I appreciate you asking, man.
Man. No, I'm really happy I stumbled across your channel. I don't even remember how I stumbled across it, but it was like it grew a lot since then. Like I remember finding your channel when you had like 15 or 20K subs. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, it's really dope, bro. I also really fuck with the anime drawings in the back.
Yeah, bro.
I watched both those shows before.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Demon Slayers is crazy, man.
If you like Demon Slayer, you'll love Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'll check it out.
Amazing. It's demons too. It's more dark and evil. So it's like you see people ripping up in the head. It's crazy. It's cool. It's cool. But all right, man. Hey, well, I appreciate you so much, man, Micah. And look, just thank you, man, for trusting me. Thank you for trusting the show. Thank you for being someone who is giving me the chance to talk to you about this stuff. It means a lot to me. And I wish you the best, man. So if you have any questions, I don't know if you're in the Discord. Feel free to join. I am active in
I'm
there.
not in the Discord.
Yeah, make sure to click on the link.
I'll get on that.
Yep, it's on. I'll send it to you on your email, and you can just join it. It's not a chat room. I'm super strict there, where like if people are just flexing all day, you know, they get warnings and then banned. Like we're not about that. Like if you're gonna share something, you share with detail so people can learn. So it's just it's free, it's for fun, but to help each other. All right, brother.
That's awesome, man. Have a good one, man.
All right, bro. Take care.